Hey, so I'm gonna try something new. I'm literally just gonna shoot a video with just my cell phone, and it's the forward-facing camera. And just so you know, I have the iPhone 7, and so that's a very old one. People always make fun of me for that, especially girls. I think they're just teasing me, but it's at least I don't have a refrigerator like that iPhone 11. But hey, here's the deal. Whenever I do my videos that I send out with my emails and I post on my YouTube channel, I go to my gym. I drive to my gym and I set up the tripod and I set up the lighting and I set up everything is all legit. Usually I get a haircut beforehand, which I obviously did not do right now, so don't mind that. I get a tan and all that stuff. Also, just so you know, and I'm just being real with you, my camera that I have, it's the Sony ZV-1, I believe. It actually makes your face prettier. Like, it has this feature in there. So this is like legit. This is what I look like. But I'm just gonna try this out. Because here's the deal. When I do these videos on my gym, by the way, I'm just making some eggs, by the way. Real simple, because the reason I'm making these eggs is because this is about a half a pound of bison. But I feel like it doesn't give me enough protein. And by the way, these are purple sweet potatoes that if you're wondering how I slice these, I use this thing right here. Oh, by the way, I use the air fryer. Everybody should have an air fryer, with all due respect. I mean, if you don't have an air fryer, you're missing out. This thing right here is the potato slicer. As you can see, you put it in there and anyway, I can't really show you right now, but you can get this thing on Amazon. Just type in potato French fry slicer and you can get one. Please don't be that person that messages me and say, hey, where can I find it? Go to Amazon, just type it up, all right? Now, here's what I wanna tell you real quick. I wanna do these videos because I feel like these are more real. And I wanna tell you something about being in January, and now it is January 11th or something like that. A lot of people get into January depressed. And right now, in the USA, suicide rates are at an all-time high. And you may have heard of this before, but depression rates are only going up and up. Mental health is on a steady downward spiral. Now, it's very easy to blame social media for that, and it does play a big part, I believe. But there's things you can do to fight off any external influences that are going to mess you up mentally. Because no matter what, even if the government says all social media is now banned, which is never going to happen, then there's going to be something else that's going to derail you. And here's what I want to tell you. I don't want to make this video too long, but here's the deal. Your ego, you have three things in your life. You have your past, you have your present moment, which is right now, and then you have your future. All your anguish, all your suffering, all your anxiety, all your self-doubts, all your worries, all of your suffering will come from either your past or your future, and your ego survives off of your past and your future. And the only way to end your suffering is to start living in the present moment. And I know, if you've never heard that before, then you're probably thinking, ooh, that's a little woo-woo. I mean, is it? Yeah, I guess it is. But I'm not going full Santa Monica vegan hippie, tempeh everything on you. But everybody needs to hear this. And what I want to do is put it in a language that you can understand. Now, here's what it looks like. You've heard the saying before, leave your ego at the door, right? A lot of people think ego is a very bad thing. Your ego is bad in about 90% of the cases. In about 10% of the cases, your ego will give you aggression and forward momentum to make you do things that you maybe not want to do at the moment. So for instance, let's say you get like a little jealous or you get a little angry. Negative emotions can give you aggression to do things that you don't want to do at the moment. And those are mostly, like, if you ask me, like motivational quotes that you see, like, tell me that I can't do something and I will, or if the most obvious case is where, emotionally, let's say you break up with your relationship, or you get cheated on, or whatever it is, then that causes a lot of negative emotions as well, and that'll fuel you forward. The trick is this though: if you want to have a fulfilling life, and you want to relive all the joy and bliss that you had when you were 3, 6, 9, 15 years old, maybe you think about that sometimes. You're like, man, back in the day I was so happy. Thing is, you're 30 now, you're 40 now, you're 50 now. The older you get, the bigger your past becomes. And the more your past becomes, for most people, we are our own worst enemy. And every morning when we wake up, your brain, everybody's brain, does the exact same thing. It's going to think about your past. It's going to push your past on you. It's going to push all your past failures, all your past mistakes, all your past misery. And then you have to fight that. If you don't fight that, then you're just going to want to lay in bed all day and not get out of bed. But if you leave your mind to itself, then it will just, like I said in today's email, it'll just start messing you up big time. You'll get suffering. You have to actively put positive thoughts into your head. And the way you do that is to start getting present. And I know this sounds a little weird, but here's what you do. Your past no longer exists, and your future happens. Your future will be defined with what you do right now. And the goal in life is to constantly be in love with your future. And how do you do that? You ready? And this is going to sound like, ask me this like 6 months ago, and I would have been like, what? You have to become love. You have to become love. Love, see, like a relationship, you shouldn't want to be with a person because you think that person is going to give you something. The relationship in itself is the prize. And you can only be in a relationship if you are ready for a relationship. And you can only be in a relationship if you first love yourself. And you cannot love yourself if you don't become love first. And what I really mean is you have to absolutely love yourself. That's where everything starts. Don't even, oh man, I'm shooting myself in the foot right here. Don't even think about signing up for a fitness program if you don't love yourself first. Now, in my program, we do work on that, but, and I don't want to make this video too long, but one of the fastest ways that you can start loving yourself and loving your environment and loving where you're at right now is to start being grateful. And one of the biggest, the easiest ways to start, one of the baby steps you can take right now, is every morning, write out in a little, piece of paper. I have this little journal right here. Write out one thing that you're grateful for. And by the way, if you're in SoCal, you got 10 million things to be grateful for. You know what? If you're alive, you got 10 million things to be grateful for. But what that does is it puts you in an attitude of gratitude. And you can only start being creative. You can only start being your true self if you start loving yourself. And you can only start loving yourself if you start giving yourself away. Because once you love yourself, you know that you can cope with anything that life gives you. But all your anguish and all your anxiety and all your mental suffering comes from living in the past or thinking about the future. Now, full transparency for me, and by the way, this is not easy. Nobody is always fully present. Nobody. Maybe like the monks in Tibet. I don't know. But everybody gets angry. Everybody gets upset. But the goal is to minimize that. And for instance, today, right? Today I got an email in from my CPA. I thought my bill was like $600 and it was like $4,800. And it got into my head. And I noticed, had that happened a couple months ago, it would have put me in a bad mood. And the rest of the day I would have just been like, blah, 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 blah. But what I did is I took that and I had all these negative emotions. And I went for a walk outside. For me, my block is like a 10, 15-minute walk outside. I thought about it. I inhaled through my nose, out through my mouth. And sometimes it takes like a Herculean effort to get present again. But when something throws you off of your presence, your goal is to get present again as fast as you can. That's the goal. Because it's real. Mental suffering is real. Nobody talks about it though. Most women will say that they're depressed, but they're not as likely to actually commit suicide. Men, we don't call anyone We usually have nobody to call. We don't talk to anyone because that's considered weak. And I get it. And I'm not here to tell you like, yeah, call somebody. Really what my advice is to start being present. Take some time to yourself. Start feeling yourself in the current moment. And that will put you at the right now. And then you will realize that everything you ever had, that you ever wanted, you already have right now. And a lot of people that want the fancy cars, that want the amazing relationship, that want the amazing house, once you start getting present and you start loving yourself and you start becoming love, giving love to every single person in every single environment, every single thing in your life, you realize you don't want any of that anymore. It's like people that buy expensive Porsches and they return them after 6 months because like it didn't do anything for them. And I've been there. Oh God. It's usually the chase for the pursuit that gives you more dopamine than the actual getting of it. But the thing is this, and I'll leave you guys with this. It's already 11 minutes in this video. And my food's getting cold. There was a homeless guy. This is from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Which, by the way, you got to get that book, The Power of Now. There was a homeless guy sitting on a box, and he was asking for money. All the bystanders, the people that were walking by, right? And the homeless guy was like, "Hey, spare some change." And all the bystanders or all the people that were walking by were just saying, "No, I'm sorry, I don't have anything on me." And then, he's doing that for years, sitting on that box. And then one guy walked by and said, "No, I don't have any change, but what's in that box that you're sitting on?" And the homeless guy said, "Oh, no, nothing. It's just a box, just a wooden box." And then the guy said, "Well, have you ever looked into it? What's in it?" So the homeless guy said, "No, I've never looked into it." So he unscrews it, he takes it apart. There's like $1 billion in there. Everything he ever needed was all in that box. And that homeless guy is you right there. Because you have everything you want right now. You have it inside you. But you have to look inward and get present. Because the only time you have in your life is the right now. If you want a better relationship, you want a better marriage, you want a better health, you want just freaking stop taking the antidepressants and all the stupid prescription medication. You want to heal yourself from the inside out, you got to get present, because that's the only time where you can stop being in lack and start getting creative. And that's where your true power is going to come from. And that's step number 1 in whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life. You're going to find, you're going to be so blissfully joyful, blah, 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 all those terms. Once you start doing that, I can talk all night long, especially with a video like this. But look at that right there. I got to go eat. But do me a favor, if you like this video, I don't even know yet how I'm going to upload it. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow, though. But email me back with how you liked it, if it's an email, or I don't know, leave a comment or something like that. All right? I hope this made sense. I'll talk to you soon.